Hello everyone, welcome to MVP Vishwakosha. Today we are discussing 17 September 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about the recent Supreme Court clean chit to Vantara. Okay, Vantara, you know, right? It is about Reliance Geological Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. So in that, you should know about what is Vantara. Vantara is an Greens Geological Rescue and Rehabilitation Center in Jamnagar, Gujarat, run by Reliance Foundation. Okay, and the main allegation that Vantara has involved in unlawful acquisition, smuggling of animals, violation of wildlife and zoo laws, financial irregularities in money laundering, misuse of carbon credit, etc. So that two petitioners under Article 32, okay, important Article 32 in that PIL by Sir Jaya Shukin and Dev Sharma based largely on media reports or request for independent probe. So in this Supreme Court constituted four-member special investigation team, that is SIT, headed by former Supreme Court Judge Justice Chelva Maheswar, okay, along with the other members. So after that report, the SIT submitted its report and the Supreme Court that on 16 September accepted the findings, held that no law was contravened and gave Vantara a clean chit, and also complaints petition listed in the report schedule A were closed. So in this very important that Wildlife Protection Act 1972, zoo rules and central about that Central Zoo Authority guidelines, Customs Act, Foreign Trade Regulation and Development Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, and also you should know about CITES, that is a Convention on International Trade and in Endangered Species, all that. Okay? And also SIT found that Vantara facilitate exceed prescribed benchmarks and mortality statistics of animals welfare within global geological averages, and also important acquiring of animals where the valid permit and multi-layered approvals, no financial wrongdoing established. Okay, so that Supreme Court told that no further complaints or proceeding based on same allegation to be entertained in any judicial statutory administrative forum. And also the report sealed summary and not confidential and to be part of order pending allegation listed in Schedule A are closed. Okay, so all that exam perspective, all that is statutory and regulatory compliance, judicial process and finance, all that, and also transparency, all that is standard of animal welfare, all that perspective, it is very important. Next news, it is about recent that is bamboo based bioethanol plant in Golgat in Assam. Okay, so here that India's first bamboo based bioethanol, that is second generation, okay, 2G biorefinery plant, okay, that is in Assam. Okay, refinery in that Numelga refinery limited site. Okay, so approximately 5,000 crore for bioethanol plant, and also that bamboo, specifically local species. Okay, bambusa moloko, and also that bambusa tooled which have high cellulose content. Okay, annual bamboo required is almost 5 lakh tons of bamboo per year. Okay, and also expected that is 50,000 metric tons of ethanol also. Okay, in that green energy almost plus 25 megawatt green energy electricity. Okay, and also some of the impact on farmers procurement, and also 60 lakh saplings already distributed to farmers at no cost, and also price of for bamboo pole set in rupees 65 to 70 per pole to be procured from farmers. Okay, and also local economy benefit estimated at rupees 200 crore annually. Very good that impact, okay, from this. And also additional that is a polypropylene plant also has its foundation laid nearby Numilgar refinery. So all that perspective, energy security and reduction of fossil fuel dependence and use of local indigenous biomass and farmer and tribal community benefit in rural livelihoods, and also technological and industrial innovation and environment and climate benefits and policy and governance aspects, it is very important. Okay, next news that is about recent that is US trade deal team visit to India, and it's some of the outcomes and significance and all. So in that US trade delegation led by Brendan Lynch, okay, that is assistant US trade representative for South and Central Asia, and also from India's side, that is Rajesh Agarwal, that is special secretary in the Commerce Ministry, and also senior commerce officials are attended. So the talks happened in New Delhi, okay, in September mid, okay. Now it's going on, and also the US has imposed a tariff and all, right, and Indian import first a reciprocal tariff rate, and also that now additional 25. So for that, it is very very important, meaty. So and tariffs and non-tariff barriers issue is discussing market access and also resolving the main thing, trade barriers, negotiating and a bilateral trade agreement. Okay, all that discussion will be there. Also, some of the outcome, and that both sides described the discussion as a positive and forward-looking, and agreed to intensify effort to reach an early mutually beneficial trade deal, but no concrete agreement yet. Okay, very important. US want India to reduce or drop an extra 25% oil-linked tariff. India's red lines around opening agriculture and dairy sectors and all. So all that very important, that re-establishing dialogue and reducing tensions and opportunity for bilateral trade agreement and also economic push for key sectors and also geopolitical strategic angle. It is very very important. Okay, and also some of the challenges will be there. Tariff penalty as a major obstacle there, and also red lines for India, that India is cautious about opening key sensitive sector like agriculture and dairy sector. Okay, and also the supporting Indian agriculture, and also in balancing strategic autonomy and economic benefit, very very important, and potential domestic backlash and chances of implications, all that negotiations and all that perspective, international relation, foreign policy, economy, ethics and governance, geopolitics, all perspective, it is very very important. Next is that is about recent Uttarakhand heavy rain, cloudburst, landslides and floods. Okay, Uttarakhand Dehradun district areas including Sahasradhara, Maldevata, Masuri, Premnagar, Tehri, Pithogarh, Nainital, Pori, etc. All heavy rains, cloudburst overnight. Okay, early morning around that 15-16 September 2025. So that triggering event, cloudburst in several places. Okay, leading to sudden, very intense rain. Also river swelling, landslides and all. So all that example Shastra recorded 264 mm rainfall in a very short span, and also some damages and all. Okay, at least 10 to 13 deaths and many missing, and several houses, roads and bridges destroyed or washed away, shops damaged, infrastructure disrupted, large scale water logging also. Okay, very important that alert, that IMD issued red alert for Haridwar and Dehradun rescue operation by state disaster response forces. Okay, also local administration and evacuation, and also from support from government support, that PM Modi announced that 200 crore for flooded Uttarakhand relief and rehabilitation. So very very important that in exam perspective, that climate change and extreme weather, geological terrain and land use mismanagement, disaster preparedness and early warning system and infrastructure and urban planning, and also that relief and response. Okay, and governance capacity and socio-economic vulnerability, political policy and institutional gaps. It is very very important. Okay. Next news, that is about East African crude oil pipeline. Okay, that which estimates that is 34 million tons of carbon emission per year. Okay, in that perspective, that is the East African crude oil pipeline, that is almost 1,443 okay, kilometer long heated crude oil pipeline, meant to transport crude oil from that Tilanga and Kingfisher oil fields in Uganda, okay, to Tanga port in Tanzania. So in this led company, that Total Energies and other stakeholders include Uganda's government via all that UNOC Tanzania. Okay. And this is very important, that capacity oil transport about 2 lakh to 2 lakh 16 barrels of oil per day during peak plateau production. So all that in that very very important perspectives, estimated emission. So the pipeline associated that extraction, refining, use of the oil is expected to generate around 34 million tons of carbon dioxide, okay, annually at plateau production over it lifetime, that is 25 years. Total emissions may reach 379 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Okay. Very important that impact. So run through ecologically sensitive and protected areas, right? National park, forest, that will affect freshwater resource, like in Lake Victoria basin in that Africa continent, right? So also risk of spills, displacement of people, all that almost 10,000 peoples. Okay, and also major issues and significance in that climate change, global emission commitment, environmental and biodiversity risk, and also social and human rights impact and economic development versus sustainable dilemma, and also global energy transition and fossil fuel lock, and also financing and corporate responsibility and all that perspective. It is very, very important. And the challenges, risk and limitations, and all that rigorous impact assessment and transparency, strong environmental safeguard, fair and just compensation. In that all that perspective, it is very, very important. Okay. Next news, that is about recent news about Ministry of New and Renewable, that is first national policy on geothermal. Okay, so in that recent national geothermal energy policy announced by India's Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So India's first national policy on geothermal energy launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So in that very important, that mid-September 2025 to tap the country's geothermal potential, okay, and also to provide a reliable baseload renewable energy source, support India's net zero by 2070 goal. Okay, India's goal, right, that net zero by 2070, and also diversify the clean energy mix, and also some of the geothermal potential identified, almost 381 hot springs and also 100 geothermal provinces. Some regions like Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, etc., the temperature ranges cited for hot springs about that are 35 degrees Celsius to 89 degrees Celsius. In some Himalaya sites, where a high enthalpy resource, and all that application covered in that very important. High enthalpy resource, that is low or medium enthalpy direct use, heating, cooling, space heating, agriculture, aquaculture, food drying, geotourism, etc. Use of ground source to heat pumps. So in that policy, it's at 100% FDI allowed in that, and also fiscal incentives, tax holidays, import duty or GST exemptions, all that, and also some concessional loans, viability gap funding, sovereign green bonds, very, very important. Priority grid transmission, long-term lease for projects, all that perspective is very, very important. And also in that institutional and regulatory measures in that center of excellence for geothermal energy, pilot project, use of existing oil and gas infrastructure, all that. Okay. So in that very important, that baseload clean energy in that perspective, decarbonization and net zero target, very important, at 2070. Also resource diversification, regional and local benefit, and use of existing infrastructure. Very important, that geothermal energy, okay, and also that project, okay, by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay. Next news, that is about sirmvishveshvarayabirthanniversary birth anniversary and National Engineers Day. Right, Sir Mokshagundam Vishveshwaraya, commonly known Sir MB, is a civil engineer, administrator, and statesman. So 15 September 1861, born in Mudenahalli, okay, present day Chikbalpura district of Karnataka. So he died in date of 14 April 1962. He studied science and civil engineering. That is College of Engineering, Pune, other institution, and also major roles, chief engineer, public work roles in Bombay, and all. Also main contribution in that is automatic slide gates, okay, in Khadawalsa Dam, and also Krishnaraja Sagar Dam, very important dam. It's located in Karnataka, and also flood protection schemes, all that Hyderabad, Musi River, and also sea erosion control, Visakhapatnam Port, and other reforms in irrigation, public works, technical education, and also awarded Bharat Ratna in 1955 and knighted and others honors and all. So for that, every year, so 15 September, that is Engineers Day, celebrated in India as a National Engineers Day to commemorate his birth anniversary and honor engineers' contribution and all. His life and Engineers Day are not just memorials, they carry lessons and symbolism relevant to India's development, governance, science and technology, and ethos of engineering. Okay, all that perspective very, very important. It's visionary engineering plus nation building, and innovation with the practicality, ethics, discipline, integrity, technical and institutional capacity building, sustainable and long-term planning. All that perspectives are that birth anniversary, all that is very, very important. Next news, that is recent, that India's 15-year exploration contract with the International Seabed Authority for polymetalalicsulphides. Very important, that is polymetallic. India signed a 15-year exploration contract with the International Seabed Authority for exploration of polymetalalicsulphides in international seabed. The original contract was signed in 2016. And also news refer to that scheme, all that area, almost 10,000 kilometer part of, that is Carlsberg Ridge in the Indian Ocean. Okay. all that this is India's third exploration contract with that is International Seabed Authority. So India is second contract specific to that polymetallic sulphide. So very important that polymetallic sulphides that these are mineral deposit that rich in copper, gold, silver, and zinc, etc. But formed by at hydrothermal vents on the ocean ridges. Okay. So with the hot fluids emerge from crust and from mineral chimneys under sea. Governance bodies are all that very, very important. International Seabed Authority and the principles of United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea. Okay, very important that convention and all. And also that International Seabed Authority regulate mineral exploration in the areas. Okay. And also in common heritage mankind. All that assess of critical minerals, blue economy and marine resource, scientific knowledge and technology capability, legal and international law dimension, all that perspective, all that, and also environmental impact, that exploration potential, all that is high risk and all. Also technological, economic feasibility, regulatory and ethical issue, geopolitical competition and all that perspective. It is very, very important. Okay. Next news that is about recent protest in Turkey. Okay. So what is happening that 10,000 of protesters gathered in Ankara. Okay, so the protest was against the legal cases put annual in 2023 Congress. Turkey's main opposition party, the Republic People's Party, so key position figure in all that have condemned the government actions in an attack on democracy and protest demanding president we keep Erdogan's resignation and all. So, and also over past months, many mayors, leaders, and all have been detained, right? So all that issue and government claims judiciary is independent, all that, and also these detentions and cases are legal and corruption criminal investigations, and also opposition sees them as politically motivated, aimed at weakening opposition ahead of elections. In that perspective, very, very important that democratic backlashing and rule of law, separation of powers and institutional independence, political stakes and election contest, and also public sentiment and protest as the barometers, and economy and social fallout and media, social media, and civil society. All that is very, very important. Okay, and policy, polity and governance, international relations, foreign policy, ethics, economic, social issues. All that perspective it is very, very important. Okay, that is about recent news about Turkey. Okay, next news that is about recent that is news about adolescent winning big at the 2025 Emmy Awards. Okay, so in that adolescent psychological crime drama limited series on Netflix. Okay, it has won multiple Emmy Awards. Emmy Award 2025. So the show deals with controversial heavy themes and all, including a 13-year-old accused of murder, exploring social issues among adults and all. So it is a historic win that Owen Cooper, aged 15, one outstanding supporting actor in a limited or anthology series or movie, making him the youngest male actor ever to win the Emmy category. Also, other Emmy ones for adolescents won several categories: outstanding limited on the or anthology series, lead actor, lead actress, supporting actors, directing and writing, etc. So all that 77th Primetime Emmy Award, very, very important that award winning and all. Okay, and also youth responsibility and voices. That fact that 15-year-old one plays a central role, right? In globalization of media and OTT platforms, access and talent discovery, decentralization, themes of the show and social issues, cultural soft power, and all that content sensitivity, censorship, representation, diversity, sustainability versus novelty, and also audience, all that impact and all that perspective. It is important. Okay, that is about 17 September 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exams. Thank you.